What is going on, bowlers? Chris Beans here with Bowlers Rant, bringing you one new update from Storm Bowling. Don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons and turn on those notifications. I do appreciate your support of the channel. If you can hear it in my voice, I am very quietly excited because we finally have eyes on the Storm Summit Pearl. Ooh, hoo, hoo. This ball is beautiful. We finally have the right graphic. And by the way, I've got ball motion video ready to go where we're going to see this thing going down the lane over to the interwebs. Beans, don't hold back. All right, I got you, buddy. Calm your horses. All right. So let's just take a tour. All right. So here's the oh, that's right. This website's slow. This is what's being described as the Centripetal HD AI core. This is the same one that was in the original Summit. I just like the graphic that they've got here. Very good fragrance choice. Grape. So we're going to go right down. Here's the flyer. I do like this flyer, by the way. Very good job, Korea. Okay. But it's all about specs. So here is the deal. There's something to be said here. Someone messaged me and said that this was going to be an overseas exclusive, and I'm kind of almost believing him. And here's the reason why. I see this 1500 grit polished piece, right? So NRG Pro Reactive, by the way, that means nano. Woohoo! Centripetal HDI core, 1500 grit polished, ink blue is the color. I love this color. It is fantastic. Reminds me of a whole bunch of other bowling balls. The Fate, the Wolverine, right? The number's at 15 pounds, 2.46 RG with a .056 differential. So, amazing, right? This gives me Marvel Pearl vibes. This gives me Storm Sonic vibes. But because of this cover stock and because of the design intent, I don't think it's going to be nearly as snappy as the Sonic was. But it does give me Marvel Pearl vibes. Let me explain. Here we go. This young man on the lanes. This is that Ginseng 2023 pattern. I think this is kind of like what you would equate to a challenge pattern, right? Here we go. Boom. Yojin Yoon, right between around fourth arrow. Look at that arc. That is a very usable ball motion. I love this motion. This is my style of motion, okay? Where you can hit it, and he's got a 441 rev rate. It's kind of hard to see on the screen there, but this guy's got some hand. It's not like Jesper Svensson hand, but it's nothing to sneeze at. Who else? Who among you wouldn't want a 440 rev rate? Like, name somebody, right? Of course you do. And this guy's throwing it across fourth arrow, and it's just coming back. And it's gliding back to the pocket. This is something that you can use in a variety of conditions, right? You can absolutely use this on a standard league condition that isn't too heavy. And if it is heavy, you're going to start with something like a Summit Solid or maybe a DNA, or something, an Eternity Pie. And then when you need to go down to the second, ball, this is where this one comes in, right? Because something shiny like this isn't necessarily going to love, the soup unless you've got the hand of God, right? So this carry looks phenomenal, right? This ball motion looks phenomenal. That's what I really meant. Can't you guys read my mind? Sometimes I say things, but I really need something else. I like this, right? Now for him, this is a 5x4 by 2.5 layout, right? So that puts the pin right above his bridge, but just remember, doesn't mean that the pin above your bridge will be the same. As it starts to migrate its axis, here it goes, all the way down to the break point at 5.5, coming back with a late arc. Not quite an elliptical arc, but it is a late arc. And that's the kind of motion you want to see, right? Let's go look at a couple more shots. Boom. I mean, it's got energy, right? It's punching through. It's not just carrying the deflection. This thing means business, and that is the kind of reaction you want on a symmetrical pearl, unless if you're trying to place a ball and you want it to snap. And there are other choices to do stuff like that, but for this ball, this is an all-around versatile ball. You could sand it and still get that pearl reaction. And remember, the nano in the cover stock is going to give it more presence throughout its travel on the lane, more footprint on the lane. It helps you bring the break point closer, but sometimes you sacrifice a little bit on the back. Last shot, here we go. Look at this. I mean, that is a phenomenal ball reaction. Now, on the shelf appeal side, I'm 100% giving this a 9 out of 10. 9.1. Let's go Dave Portnoy style. We don't want any And why am I giving a rating? I need to start doing this more with my shelf appeal. Like, where do I sit when I say something's good? Because what does that mean? This thing, 9.1, without a doubt, looks good. Also smells good. This is the kind of ball when you see it sitting on the rack, people are going to be driven to it, and has I like this contrast between the logo and the cover. Looks absolutely dynamite. Okay, that brings us to the end of the video. Now, as usual, full disclaimer, this is an overseas ball, right? So you really got two options if you're trying to track something. Like if you like beans, I gotta have this. Where can I get it? All right, so number one, and full disclosure, I partner with Bowler's Mart all the time on that stuff. That's not new to anybody who's been around this channel, so I always plug them. If you like overseas bowling balls and you don't want to pay an arm and a leg, because when you're dealing with people individually, like on Facebook, that's what you're going to do, you head on over to Bowler's Mart. I'll drop a link in the chat. There's a section for overseas bowling balls, and they have quite a bit of stock there, stuff that is really nice, so... first come, first serve. That's how it works. And if you don't find something there that you like in terms of overseas bowling balls, and let's say they just don't happen to have this one at this time, but I always tell people check back. You never know. Then you need to head on over to Facebook, right? Storm Roto-Grip bowling balls for sale. And I guarantee you somebody in there knows where to get this ball. But don't be surprised if a bowling ball like this costs you $300 or more shipped, because all of that is in shipping, and that is just the cost of doing business. So, what do you think about the Summit Pearl? Do you think it's going to come stateside? And by the way, just to remember, it has 1500 grit polish, right, in the specs. That's the old style. That's not reactive gloss. But they could switch that out. So do you think this is coming stateside? What did you think of the ball motion? And if you were to get one, what layout would you go with? Drop me a comment. Let me know. Let's continue the conversation. More updates are coming. And until then, bowl well.